What's happening, guys? What's happening, gals? Welcome, guys. I'm about to play the stream. You might hear double audio. I had to reset my OBS software last night. I just want to make sure everything is playing correctly. Give me a second. There it is. All right, just want to make sure you guys can hear me. As you can see, I didn't have a starting menu. I'm not going to have a closing menu. I had to reset everything, man. I was trying to do a stream last night for the before play video, couldn't get it done, so I just posted a video pre-recorded. But I had to do everything over, man. All of my scenes and everything. For any of you guys that are familiar with OBS, open broadcast software, it just, it just got messed up. So in that case, I had to reset everything. So I don't have a lot of stuff. I do have still the round of applause. Yep. I think I still have this. Yeah. But, and speaking of which, hold on, guys. Bear with me as I adjust some of this stuff here, man. Give me a second. Let me move this out the way. Hold on, y'all. Y'all seeing stuff happen in real time. There we go. All right. And I'll get all the other stuff back sooner than later. I just didn't want to hold up the show. So let's get to it. Let's say hello to the early commenters, and then we're going to dive right into the video. And we're going to talk about it really quick, man. Let's see who we got up in here. Sonny Roth Miller, Astro Drip, the Master of Music. Who else we got up in here? Sneaky Ninja Man. Okay, like that. Sneaky Ninja Man. Chris Fowler is in the building. Carolina Larry 24 is in the building. Leonard Green in the building. My good brother White Diggy in the building. My good brother Mark Cunningham in the building. Yeah. I see Mark is already having to defend, which I'm sure there's some stuff going on in this chat. Let me make sure the mic is not too loud. There we go. I'm sure. And who y'all want to fire? Who's everybody wanting to fire? Let's talk about it. I can't wait to hear you guys' opinions, man. C Brown. He says haters are in force. Wow. Ron Simpson, Crazy Ron Gaming. What's up, Ron? What's going on, brother? Caleb Long is in the building. Who else is up in here? Hugs Ladon is in the building. Hope I said that correctly. Quote is in the building. Hello, the lovely Lanisha. Hello, Lanisha. One of our lovely ladies of Steeler Nation is in the building. Say hello, guys. Lay out that red carpet. And CT Pittman, my good brother CT Pittman, and my Aries brethren, my good brother Kenyon in the building as well. Big Marv 34. All right, that's enough. James Tresvant, Antoine Hill, Brother Man, and that's it. I'm sorry, two more. Ali and Dual Threat Gamer. Let's get to it, guys. So let's do it. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time tonight, man, because I was going to do what I normally do as far as, talk about the full spectrum and the key moments. I might still do that, but I'm going to do it very quickly. I'm going to do them very quickly because this game gave me a lot of perspective, and I want to talk about the perspective I have, and then I want to talk to you all. And hold on, guys. Y'all got to bear with me for a second, man. Hold on. Hold on, guys. I forgot. I forgot to send this out to the special people that I always text directly. So hold on, guys. Let me do that. My bad, guys. Like I said, man, my streaming software was acting nutty for me. Kind of took me off of my grind. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. So let's talk about what I want to talk about. I'm going to spend most of my time there. So let me just breeze through my comments, my knee-jerk reaction. And here it is. I always talk about the first series, whether offense or defensively or both. And that's what we're going to do. Steelers got the ball first. So on the first drive, nice kick return by Cordero Patterson to the 31-yard line. They run the ball with Najee Harris up the middle for 2 yards. Surprising. They passed the ball to Pat Fryermuth for only 1 yard. Then the Steelers were facing a 3rd and 7, and the Steelers take a shot downfield to Van Jefferson in triple coverage, I might add. It was incomplete, and what do you know? The Steelers go 3 and out. It's something that you can't really afford to do, right? There was a personal foul on Adams. One Wait, I put that in the wrong section here. This is supposed to be, hold on, guys. Bear with me. This was supposed to be in my penalty section, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So, defensively, Pittsburgh Steelers, the Eagles went downfield to the tight end for a nice gain on the very first play in the middle of the field. They caught the Steelers in the base defense. I wrote there because I saw guys like a Landon Roberts. I think I even saw, if I remember correctly, I'll go back and watch, but I think I even saw Alex Highsmith caught in coverage on that play. So it lets me know that the Steelers were in base defense. I do not know what personnel the Eagles were in. I'd have to go back and watch the film, but I don't know if they were in 11 or if they had two tights and they just split them out. I don't know, but all I do know is we were in our base defense. It forced us to put linebackers in coverage, and they hit us for a decent gain on the first play right there. Steelers gave up another big play to Devontae Smith down the middle of the field, and the Eagles start going up tempo. The Steelers then were faced with a 3rd and 7. The Steelers were able to force Hurts up in the pocket, and they were able to get off the field. And at that point, the Eagles were forced to kick a field goal. At that point, it was 3-0. So shaky start, very shaky start for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, but they were able to hold to a field goal. And what do you know? Right after that, the Steelers offense go 3 and out again. But we do have Wonder Bread here, guys. Let me know if y'all saw the alert, because like I said, I had to re-add everything. Let me know if y'all saw the donation alert. But in case y'all didn't, I see it here. Isaiah Threats, round of applause. I appreciate the Wonder Bread. He says, I don't understand our obsession with running and pitch plays with Najee. We've seen it under Canada and the same thing under Arthur Smith. I think what's probably happening with Arthur Smith is the fact that it has been successful here and there. Has not been largely or widely successful, so I don't know why he continues to run it, but I think that's probably the reason. I think that's the problem. You guys said the alert never showed up. Okay, I'll have to figure that out. But I think that might be the issue, man. It's been decently successful enough for Arthur Smith to continue to run it. I just wish we would start doing some things that aren't so script-like, and I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Let me get back to my notes here. What else do I have? Let's talk about really quick, man, just the key moments, and I'm just going to read them to you. Fly through this. TJ Watt forces a fumble on Jalen Hurts on the Eagles' second drive, and the Steelers go 3 and out right after that. Terrible. Dan Moore gives up the sack to Sweat. Steelers come down and force a fumble on Cooper DeJean. Forced fumble by Mark Robinson, and the Steelers get the ball back on the 11-yard line. The Steelers called for 2 personal fouls on that first play. Remember the one with Donnell Washington giving his best rendition of Michael Orr? There it is. There goes the alert. Somebody told me it didn't show up, but I'm glad to see it showed up. Round of applause to Last King of Scotland. Let's get the round of applause here for the Wonder Bread, and I'll pick back up where I left off. Thank you, brother. Last King of Scotland, you are absolutely correct, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. That's where I want to hang most of my thoughts right there. Also, brother man, appreciate your Wonder Bread as well. Thank you, man. Round of applause. He says Jalen was okay today, but should have done more passing this game. Just not a good day. So tough break. Yeah, man, listen, we played the Eagles, and I want people to remember that, and I'm going to say that later in the show. We played a Philadelphia Eagles team coming into this game that was 11-2, one of the best teams in the league, effective on both sides of the ball. I told you guys, for some of you that may have saw the video last night, they came into this game, they were second against the pass, yards-wise. They were 8th against the run, yards-wise. So, great team, and they showed. But all right, let's get back to what I was saying. we forced 2 fumbles within about a minute of each other, right? 2 fumbles. We were called for the personal foul with Darnell Washington doing his best rendition, if I can say the word correctly, of Michael Orr. Some of you guys will understand that from the Blind Side movie. And where are you taking him, Michael Orr? Where are you taking him? Gets called for a personal foul there, and then also Calvin Austin for shoving. So that kind of killed that drive. It backed the Steelers up to a 2nd and 18. The Steelers were forced to kick a field goal, and at that point, the game is tied 3-3. However, the Eagles go right down and score right after that, and they force it to 10-3. Steelers then go down and score after the Eagles scored to go up 17-3 to make it a 17-10 game, and the Steelers defense forced a 3-and-out right after that. But the Steelers offense unable to get the ball into the end zone on the final drive of the first half, but we were able to come away with the field goal by Chris Boswell at that point at halftime at 17-3. The Steelers made it a game again. Next thing I notated, the Steelers give up a 2nd and 20 to the Eagles on the first drive of the second half, but were able to hold the Eagles to a field goal. But personal foul happened after the field goal, and it extends the drive. The defense holds for another field goal attempt. At that point, the score is 13-20. The Steelers hit a 31-yard pass to Calvin Austin with the flea flicker on first down. Good call by Arthur Smith. We hadn't really seen a flea flicker, I don't think, this season, if I can recall. If we did, it was not many times. And after the Eagles scored, it was right after the Eagles scored, as the Steelers are on a great drive. On a great drive, we get into Eagles territory. We're right around the 30-yard line or so, and Najee Harris fumbles the pitch, hands the ball right back to the Eagles, and the Eagles go right down and score off of that turnover, which made it 27-13, and that's pretty much the game right there. What I did want to talk about really quick, guys, before I get into my points. Tomlin decides to punt with about 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I want to ask you guys, I'm going to put this in the chat right now. I'm going to ask y'all let me know. Would you have gone for it at that moment? It was 4th and 7, I think it was. 4 for 8 and 4th and 7. Do you think we should have gone for it right around that time? However, even after the punt, the Steelers had the Eagles on a 3rd and 6, backed up, and A.J. Brown is able to beat Porter, gets his hands on him and just muscles him and gets the slant. The Eagles convert, and the Eagles go down to take a bunch of time off the clock. And eventually at that point, the Steelers give up another 12 yards on a 3rd and 13 later in that drive. And the Eagles convert a 4th and 1 with the Beverly shove. And that was pretty much the end of the game. So I want to know, would you guys have punted or would you guys have gone for it? I want to hear you guys' thoughts, and then I'm going to give you your thoughts. My thoughts, excuse me. Some people said feasted on Dante. Okay, he says, Walter says yes, he would have gone for it. Quote says hindsight. Astro says yes, living in our fears. Okay. What else? Gary Paul says go for it. What else, guys? 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Do you guys go for it or do you punt? Dual Threat Gamer says go for it. Walter Worthy says go for it. Punting the ball on the 4th and 5 down 14 is wild. It was 4th and 7, I think, Steeler Cards. David McLeod says punt was the right call. Okay. Caleb says you go for it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to tell you guys what I would do. I'm right there with David McLeod and Kenyon and Ali. I'm going to punt. Let me explain to you guys why. The defense didn't really make the stops when we needed to make the stops. So I know that's what people are going to hang on. But I'm going to explain to you guys why I probably wouldn't have gone for it either. Our offense hadn't shown at any point in the game that they could pick up yards when they needed to. Think about it. Some of the bigger plays we made either came off a flea flicker or when the Eagles was kind of sitting back and allowing us to just kind of chew clock. Our offense didn't give us any signs that they could pick up a first down of 7 yards or 8 yards. I think it was 4th and 8. They had given us no indication that you trusted them to pick up those yards. So I think that's why Tomlin elected to punt. I'm not going to say which one is right or wrong. I'm just going to explain to you why I agree with some of you guys here. I see Bummy D and I think if I'm reading that correctly. Oh, excuse me, Bummy Dan. I agree with you guys. You, Kenyon, couple others, Sonny Rothmiller, David McLeod. I kind of would have leaned on the side maybe of punting it because I just didn't have confidence in the offense. The defense was the stronger unit, even though they put up 27 points. The defense showed to be a stronger unit throughout the duration of the game. So at that point, I guess you think you punted away, you backed them up, which we actually did with the help of a personal foul. Had them on a 3rd and 6. I think they were right around the 8-yard line or so, and we give it up. So it is what it is, guys. I'm really really not confident that the offense would have gotten it either. So, like I said, you could argue that one back and forth. I was just curious to see what you guys would have thought. I knew most of Steeler Nation was going to say, you go for it. But you got to remember, that offense hadn't done much, dog. They just didn't. Every time that we had a 3rd and long, the defense put something out there that just confused us. Or it really showed the lack of depth in Arthur Smith's offense. Now, I'm going to get to that in a moment as well. But a good conversation, good discussion right there. Really quick, guys. Couple takeaways that I had from the game. Steelers got 2 fumble recoveries within a minute and only came away with 3 points. Cannot do that. Philadelphia Eagles essentially ended the game off of a Najee Harris fumble. They went right down and scored. That was a big difference in the game. I did want to note, again, time management. There was a moment right before the half, I think after the TJ Watt sack, where Tomlin and crew let 20 seconds tick off the clock before calling a timeout. I will never understand the time management aspect of this team and Mike Tomlin. I never will. I never will. You guys know my position on Mike Tomlin, but that has been my criticism throughout his duration, is how we manage the clock at times as well as our challenges. It just is what it is at this point. Let me give you a couple of my takeaways, man, and then I want to just dive into the chat and see what else you guys have to say. So here's a quick offensive, well, let's do defensive first. Defensive recap. Steelers defense was just having trouble stopping the Eagles early in the game, man, and then it continued. We were unable to stop their pass game. We did focus our energy on the run game. We did limit Saquon Barkley. I don't think Saquon ended up with 70 yards. The last time I checked, I think he was at 65, and I think he lost a yard or two or a few yards since then. Good job there, but we could not do anything with the pass game. It was bad. We couldn't handle the pass game. We couldn't handle the pass game, and we could not handle up-tempo, it seemed like. Round of applause to Brother Man, for the Wonder Bread. He says we really needed Deshaun Elliott today. Perhaps Deshaun Elliott, man, definitely might would have helped. I don't know how much, but yeah, you could definitely see his presence was felt. His presence was missed, Dante Jackson went down. I think James Pierre might have came in and did a better job in this type of game. With coverage, I'd have to watch, but definitely with tackling. Dante Jackson got faked out of his socks early on with Gainwell that would have turned the ball over as well, would have forced a punt. A lot of missed tackles today in key moments, guys. There were a few. Gainwell making Porter and Queen miss. As the Eagles get close to the end zone, I think that helped them score that last touchdown. It was a lot of opportunities missed, but like I said, there were key moments. KZ caught a bad 1-2 with Jalen Hurts in the middle of the field. There were a lot of key times where we missed tackles and it hurt us bad. Speaking of Dante Jackson going down, man, TJ Watt goes down in that game, and I think they're reporting that's an ankle sprain. Not a good sign as well. I mean, good thing we do have other guys that can rush the passer, but anytime TJ Watt is not out there, that's not good, especially with this stretch that we're going down. This stretch that we're going down is brutal, guys. I said it coming into this game. I know I poked fun at some of you guys on X, and I said, hey, Steelers fans crack me up because you guys are so delusional. And I'm talking about you guys that some of y'all right in here. Some of y'all right in here, oh, we gonna smash Philly, we gonna go. And I'm like, where y'all getting this from? And it's funny that some of those same people, as soon as we lose now, the world is crashing in, the earth is falling, fire everybody. Y'all don't really be paying attention, man. I said it. I didn't feel good about this game because Philly is a good team. One of the best teams in the league. And hey, the Steelers hung in there for a moment. But now let me get to my offensive recap. What this game did for me, guys, couple things. Steelers offense had 2 total yards by the end of the first quarter and no first downs. 2 yards. Arthur Smith still loves his 12 or 13 personnel, bunch set, single back, and he likes to run right up the middle. If it's not that, he's going to run Connor Haywood as a fullback, and he's going to pitch it out. And I wrote this down. I said, Arthur Smith, I got it right here. Arthur Smith following the same script on the first 2 drives, and the Steelers go 3 and out on the first 3 drives. And I text Kenyon and I text Tony. I said, hey, man, Arthur Smith got to get out of the same script. But let me talk more about Arthur Smith. I told you guys, I'm not as down on Arthur Smith as some people would be because I'm not just completely results driven. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not completely just based off of the result of the play. Arthur Smith's offense has been better than Matt Canada's. But Arthur Smith has a problem with. Here's the problem that he has. Arthur Smith is too predictable in key situations. His opening script and his situational offense. Arthur Smith has a problem mixing up, being multiple. Arthur Smith a lot of times goes into 11 personnel when we have to pass. We don't do enough running the football and coming out in 11 personnel early in downs to at least pose the threat of a pass, to at least spread out the defense. We play into defense's hands a lot. And that is his problem. But honestly, the real problem today, the Philadelphia Eagles defense exposed the issues in the Arthur Smith-led offense. We had no answer early in the game. None. And as Tom Brady and the other cat was saying, oh, they're throwing these exotic looks at him and they're making it muddy. We had no answer. Even Tom Brady was saying, man, they need to run some routes that got some motion or run some over routes or some mesh concepts or some crossers like the Eagles were doing to us early in the game. And as soon as we started doing that a little bit, we found some room. But that was the problem today, guys. It was the offense. So I know people, again, anytime we lose, y'all ready to fire everybody, ready to cut everybody. But what happened in this game today, the Steelers' offense got exposed and they could not put points on the board or sustain drives or pose a threat when they needed to. Plain and simple. Donation. Round of applause to my good brother Stillberg. I appreciate the donation. He says, ain't even really mad about this loss. Remember, months ago, when fans were saying a good number 2 receiver wasn't necessary, this was a moment when it was. That too. No George Pickens, not an excuse, reality. No George Pickens, so we couldn't take the threat of the 50-50 ball downfield. We didn't take any shots of that nature with Mike Williams. We took the early shot to, what's his name, Van Jefferson early on the first drive. But like I said, without George Pickens and playing the Philadelphia Eagles defense, it exposed the holes in Arthur Smith's offense. It showed the simplicity of the offense, and it reeked. It reeked. Nothing we could do. And that's why they lost the game. And again, I told you guys, man, our defense is a great defense because of splash. That's it. We get turnovers, we get sacks. But, you know, when the metal hits the road, it's a tough road for us. Our secondary, a lot of times, they get niced up. Our corners. Once again, we love to just give them inside position. Now, even though on that 3rd and 6, when the Eagles was backed up, we put number 24. We put that, you know what? He didn't play too bad today, I don't think. I'd have to go back and watch the film, but I'm going to still call him number 24. We played number 24 up tight. And the funny thing is, A.J. Brown brought the contact to him. He ran it to Porter, got his hands on him, discarded him, and the slant was right there. You win some, you lose some. But what I hate is how we just give up the inside. Most of the time, we give it to him. That touchdown pass in front of Dante Jackson, even though it was a nice RPO, we always just give up inside position. Like the slant route is always there against us. It's because of the way the corners play. We're always in a trail, and we always seem to turn and give them the inside position. So those plays are there. The quick hits are there. And that's why we lost, guys. That's why we lost. Our offense could not produce today. Too many 3-and-outs. And our defense was trying to hold it together. And they just couldn't. It is what it is, man. But that's the problem. So now, let me spend some time in the chat. I want y'all to fire away. Whatever y'all got, your discomfort, your disdain, your hate, your love, whatever y'all want to say about the team, the game. I'm going to spend a little bit of time in here because I got through that really fast there, about 28 minutes. So I'll spend a little more time in here. Afro Thunder says, number 24 will be earning back his name after the Ravens game. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Got another donation, man. I appreciate the Wonder Bread. Thank you. Superstar. Here's a good question. He says, what do you think about declining 1st and 30? I'm not mad at that either. I mean, again, guys, in the NFL, your goal is to get people behind the chains with less downs. I take 2nd and 20 any day because you are expecting your defense to get off the field. You're expecting your defense to at least force a 3rd and long. So that's why I'm not upset with taking the 2nd and 20 as opposed to the 1st and 30 because you're giving the Eagles now more opportunities. You understand what I'm saying? It's 10 yards. I could see if it was, 2nd and 11, versus a 1st and 21. That's different. I'm not mad at the 2nd and 20. How y'all feel about that? I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad at going ahead and letting the down count, and we already got them behind the chains. You got them 10 yards behind the chains. I would rather put my defense out there for 2nd down and 3rd down, hoping they can get off the field, as opposed to 1st and 30. Just my opinion. I don't think there's a right or wrong, because some people might say, well, no, if you stop them on 1st down, you make it a 2nd and long, and then you make it a 3rd and long. I'm cool with either one. But me personally, if I'm in that position and I'm trusting in my defense, and regardless of how the game is going, you're still trusting in your defense. You're still trusting that you're putting them in passing situations and now your edge rushers can rush. I'm going to take the 2nd and 20. That's just me. Eric McDuffie says, I'd take the 2nd and 20 over 2nd and 30 all day. Or it would have been 1st and 30. James Webb says the 1st and 30s make them submit most times. Maybe. Like I said, I don't know if there's a right or wrong. You know, it's just we all have different philosophies. I think as a coach as well, I'm going to take 2nd and 20 and not take the 1st and 30. Why Diggy says you take the down when it's, you take the down when it's 2nd and 20. You got them 10 yards behind the chains. So I'm not mad at that call either. Again, we can disagree with whatever calls Tomlin may have made tonight, and we can disagree in whichever way we all would have approached it. That's fine. That's fine. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer, because what if, here's the thing, what if we make it 1st and 30 and they convert that? Then, you know, people would be saying, you should have took the 2nd. Bottom line, I need my defense to get me off the field when it's 2nd and 20. That's all. But I get it. I get some of you guys thinking. Superstar says 20 is doable, 30 next to impossible. It's not. 2nd and 20 make them submit most times too. That's how I feel. So I'll leave it at that. We don't have to keep going back and forth. I would have also, as a coach, I'm telling y'all right now. So if I was a coach of our lovely, beloved Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm telling y'all right now, if I have the opportunity to accept 1st and 30 or take 2nd and 20, I'm taking 2nd and 20. Because I would feel confident in my defense being able to get me off the field with 2 downs. That's what I would have done. What else y'all got? Keep going. Mark Cunningham says Buffalo's defense gave up 40 points in 2 straight games. 40? What? You telling me that the Lions came back and put up 40 points? What in the world? Let me see. Wow. 48-42. What a game. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. They putting up a lot of points like that. See that the Broncos won. If somebody would have lost today, I think the Steelers would have clinched a playoff spot, but I forgot. I'm sorry, y'all, if y'all hear background noise. My son is behind me playing his Oculus, so if y'all can hear that, my bad. Houston won. Okay. 9-5. And we're at what? So Houston is winning that division, right? Yeah. So yeah, if we get to 11 games, man. Wait, somebody said we clinched? We did. So we clinched a playoff spot already? Interesting. Okay. Cool. Okay, cool. I didn't know I knew something had to happen, and they said we would have clinched. Miami lost. And okay, that's what it was. Miami and Indy. So we in there, baby. But I don't want that. I want to win that division. I want to win the division, guys. I want to win that division so we can get a home playoff game. I know what y'all saying already. Oh, the Steelers gonna be run and done. It may be. Maybe we are. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I would like for us to look at Astro odds on 1 and done. Man, listen. Can I say this? Can I say this? Hold on, guys. Let me close this door, man. This boy making noise. Hey, son. Not so loud. Can I say this? Let me rap with y'all for a moment. I want y'all to be all the way honest with me. Let's be honest with each other for a little while. And then we'll get back to the chat. I want y'all to be honest with me, okay? Honest. Whether it favors your logic, whether it favors your narrative, whether it favors Tomlin or doesn't favor Tomlin, I want y'all to be honest with me for just a second. Can y'all do that? from a team standpoint, is the one and done by the Pittsburgh Steelers since 2016 a bit overblown? Is it a bit overblown? This is what I'm asking y'all. Based on the teams that we took into the playoffs and based on the teams we played against. Real question. Now, the one that pissed me off was that Cleveland loss. You know, the one where the snap goes over Ben's head and we just get down early and we had to try to claw our way back? That one, that pissed me off because I don't think Cleveland was a better team than the Steelers at the time. But I'm just talking about all of those playoff games since our last playoff win and since we've been one and done. Is it a bit overblown? Guys, take Mike Tomlin out of it. Take your fanism out of it. Let's talk for real for a second. Based on the teams that we took into the playoffs and based on the teams we played and where we played, I'm asking y'all a serious question. Serious question. Not about the record. I'm just talking about when you match up the teams, which one of those games or how many of those games do you guys really feel like the Steelers were surefire to win? Based off of the team. Let me see what y'all got. Sixberg says 8 years, no playoff win, one and done is real. No. I'm not talking about if it's real or not. I'm just talking about realistic expectation. Okay, Virgin says, no, it's not. Tomlin's philosophy is game or two above 500, play safe, coach safe. Where, can I ask you this question? We do this a lot too. And if I do this, I want y'all to call me out as well. Where do we have that stamped in stone where we know that's the philosophy? Is that a speculation? Because there's proof now, video evidence out there where you've heard him say, in game actually, we're not going to live in our fears. In game, you've heard him say that to a player. We do a play and we do something unconventional and we. So what I'm saying is, where is it written out in stone where we can honestly say that is the philosophy? I don't want us to live in speculation, guys. I want us to broaden our horizons a little bit as fans. And like I said, if I do it, I want y'all to call me out too. If you like, see, Sim, you hanging on. We're having a conversation. We family. JJ Walker says it's overblown because a lot of the teams we had shouldn't have been in. Wait, you said it's overblown because a lot of the teams we had. Oh, okay. A lot of our teams. One could argue that. That the teams that we got in the playoffs with shouldn't have been there. Let's see. Charles says, just because we're spoiled doesn't mean we settle for less, Sim. Well, why are you saying that to me? Why are you telling me that? I didn't say anything about being spoiled. I'm telling you, let's take all of that off the table. I'm talking about let's have a real conversation about the teams that the Steelers have walked into the playoffs with over those last playoff appearances. Were there realistic expectations, or did you really think those teams were doing anything? That's all I'm asking. You notice I haven't said spoiled tonight. I've said that in the past about how we're spoiled about the fact that our team seems to not have a losing record for 20-something years. I'm not talking about that situation tonight. I'm asking a real question. What y'all got? Eric McDuffie says, when did Steelers Nation become so ignorant? Oh, man, he's shooting. Let's see. Where am I? I don't want to lose my spot. What else y'all got? I think I see some good ones in here. Caleb says, one and dones are a problem because we're the Steelers. See? But we should have been underdogs in the games. I agree. And that's a very good point, Caleb. We expect it, and we should. But I'm just saying, if we be objective about it, Afro Thunder says, Sim, don't forget about the Jags playoff loss. That's another one. Ain't had no business losing that. That defense was horrible. Ain't have no business losing no playoff game when you had a bye and they come to your house, even though they had an excellent defense that year. We had no business surrendering 42 points to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, I think they got a touchdown or two on defense. Even if you want to say that, we had no business surrendering 28 or 35 points to Blake Bortles. Point blank, period. Christopher West says the Denver Tebow loss ruined me. If I'm not mistaken, that was prior to the Kansas. That's prior to 2016, right? The Tebow loss. If I'm not mistaken, could be wrong there, but I'm talking about since the last time we won a playoff game, which was 2016. Tumbo says y'all too pressed to try to run the ball too much. Yeah, we are. Chris Fowler says you're asking Steelers fans to something that they, by and large, they prove they cannot do. Remove their bias. And I'm with Wild Diggy right here. Excuse me, CT Pittman. I agree. And thank you for whoever reminded me about the Jags as well early on. Oh, Afro. I thought the Jags one was a surefire win. I sure did. I did. That one I thought we had in the bag. What do I say all the time to y'all? My biggest disappointment in Mike Tomlin's tenure, I understand our defenses were trash. Some of y'all put that on Keith Butler. I understand that. But my biggest disappointment in the tenure of Mike Tomlin, when I thought we may get another Super Bowl, was the Killer Bee era. And it didn't happen. And that was Jacksonville Jaguars, folks. I thought that was a surefire win. I really did. Yep. TY says that Cleveland loss as well as Jacksonville. Those ones hurt. All right, so far, y'all only coming up with two. Somebody said Denver. So we're saying Denver, but was that Denver one before? That wasn't before the Kansas City win, right? Am I tripping? Maybe it was. Because a lot of you guys are saying Denver. A lot of you guys are saying Denver with Tebow, but was that before or after our win in Kansas City? Because remember, I'm talking about the last, and again, even the Tebow loss, ask yourself, should that team be in the playoffs? We stumbled into the playoffs. So I'm not asking y'all to tell me which ones hurt. I'm saying when you objectively think about the teams that we took into the playoffs, which one of them games that you really feel like we were going to win and the team deserved to win? Jacksonville, I'm on board with that one. Cleveland, I'm on board with that one. We got another donation. Brother man, thank you for the Wonder Bread. He says, Russell Wilson is good in the playoffs, so we're okay. He just hasn't been there in the last few years. We'll see. Yeah, Gavin said the Broncos game was before. That's what I'm saying. Y'all going so far back. Y'all going so far back, man. I'm talking about since the last win. I get everybody hates the Tebow and the stiff arm to Ike Taylor. And I still to this day feel like if Ryan Clark had been playing and not Ryan Monday, Ryan Clark probably squeezes that space a little more. So where it's not just one-on-one Ike getting stiffed on by Demaryius Thomas. Rest in peace, DT. But y'all going so, see, y'all can't even follow instruction in here. Everybody going back to Tebow. I said since the last win. Let's talk about the one and done since 2016. What else y'all got? Kenyon bringing up something in the era of Cowher. He says, remember we had home field advantage in both of those losses against the Chargers and Broncos in the Cowher era. Why Diggy says the Tebow era, Tebow was way before, and the Steelers was 12. Oh, we were 12-4 that year. Oh, I stand corrected. Really? Were we? Okay, now that's not good. We were 12-4 in the Denver one. I thought that was one of the times that we stumbled in there. But yeah, if we was 12-4 that year, then yeah, that was a bad loss. That's right, because I think the Broncos stumbled in the playoffs. I think you're right. I think you're right about that. I think the Broncos barely got there. And then Tebow threw for like 300 yards. Yeah, well, I think you're right. Yeah, that would be a disappointment. Absolutely. That would be a disappointment. But for this particular exercise, I was only talking since Kansas City. But my point being, guys, at most y'all have come up with like 2 or 3 games consistently. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of them teams here recently, man, that we got into the playoffs, they ain't had no business in the playoffs. We were not better than a lot of them teams. We definitely wasn't better than the Bills. I think the Bills got us out of there twice. We weren't. I don't think we better than the Bills not right now either. Even though, they've had points put up against them, but I don't think we match up well against them right now. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, man, I acknowledge it. I acknowledge it as a Steeler fan. I'm with y'all. It's ridiculous. I'm just saying, sometimes when I sit back and I objectively think about the game and I think about the teams, and I get it, man. It's been a long time since we felt good about a Steelers team in the playoff. That's my point. Round of applause. Why Diggy? I appreciate that. Wonder Bread. Why Diggy said there's only been 5 playoff games since that last win. Let's be real. Since 2020, this team has overachieved. That's my only point. That's me taking this off, taking the Steelers hat off and being unbiased. It's my only point. That's my only point. I'm not making excuses for none of the players or the coach, none of them. I'm just saying, when is the last time that you felt like this the year? Or, yeah, we got this game. I haven't felt like that. I felt a little bit like that in 2016 because I knew we had the offensive firepower. Even though Kansas City was a tough out, even with Alex Smith, I felt like we had the offensive firepower to compete. But if you guys remember, and can't even remember if I was doing the show way back then, but my close people to me, like Tony, if he's in here, he would remember. I didn't feel good about going to New England. Did not feel good about that. Because I knew our defense was trash. I did not think we were going to go to New England and beat New England for the AFC Championship. I didn't. It sucked to see us get thrashed, but I just did not think we were going to do nothing. Man, we got some Wonder Bread, man. James Webb and my man CT Pittman, I appreciate you. James Webb says, love this show, Sim. Man, love you too. And I appreciate that you're here, man. I appreciate you participating and coming by and checking me out, man. Thank you so much. He says, I feel like Arthur Smith is too vanilla and stubborn about it. Russ' headspace is sped up because the O-line, they hold us back. Okay. O-line hasn't played too horribly bad, but I definitely agree with you about Arthur Smith, man, and I'll say stubborn in this regard. He will continue to just stick to the script. It's almost like we don't have no plan B, right? It's almost like we're going to keep trying this, and then when it's desperation time, we're going to try to pull a rabbit out of a hat. I don't see the on-field adjustment, and I'm talking about from a personnel standpoint, a formation standpoint, a route. And that's where it sucks. Arthur Smith's offense hums when we're going. But where we fall into trouble is when we have to go. That's where it seems tough. And even some of these plays that we've made in some of these recent games, Russell Wilson was making it happen with his scramble and holding it the last second and finding Fryer move and stuff like that. But the plays that are being called is like, we don't have a plan B. It's almost like if plan A falls, then we just gonna throw anything at the wall and hope it sticks. CT Pittman says, I feel like this is the first time in a long time that we have complementary offense, defense, and special teams, and we are younger. Yeah. I think this team has promise, man. And only the sucky part about it is we have aging guys defensively. Your Cam Haywoods, your TJ Watt, even Minka is starting to creep, getting close to 30, right? And what's the quarterback situation? Like, do you sign Russ? See, this team is starting to develop with some young talent where I think we can start crafting some things with this team. But we really got to start adding these new pieces like right away. Donation. We really do. We need a franchise quarterback of the future, right? We need to add a couple more receivers in there as a complement to George Pickens. We definitely need to consider another corner, right? I think in the linebacker position, at middle linebacker, we're okay for a bit. But then, continue to develop Nick Herbig. And maybe you don't go get another edge rusher right away, but you maybe look at that in the next year or two, just, to complement TJ and Herbig and Highsmith, because TJ is getting older. He's aging. Thank you, David, man. I appreciate the Wonder Bread. He says we got to stop waiting until halftime to make changes. And that's the thing, man. Sometimes I don't even really see the real changes. It just seems like whatever we're doing is starting to work more, but it's hard to even see what the real changes are, even at halftime, man. It's just, I don't know, guys. It's one of them things where we just have to be real with ourselves, and we can end it with this. I definitely want to read Victor's comment here in a moment, but it's one of those things where we have to accept that we're not a great team. It showed itself tonight, and I'm not down just because we lost against Philly. I expected us to lose this game. I wanted to see how we played the game. It was good to see us fight back. It was good to see us hang in there as long as we could. That Najee Harris fumble really killed us, man, because the defense could not hold them, and giving up that touchdown really closed the door, in my opinion. That touchdown, because the Steelers had a little momentum going. We had just hit them with the big play. We got some decent runs back-to-back with Jaylen Warren and Najee, and then you try to run the little pitch out. It looks like Russ changed the play at the end, but that's not on Russ. Najee has to catch that. And that's what happened. But they fought, but it really exposed our offense. So it made me look at it and say, is that the best that the Steelers could do? Again, I understand George Pickens is out, but I'm saying the approach. Philly really exposed that offense early in that first half, really exposed it. And that lets me sit here and say right now today that the Steelers are not, I don't see us as a Super Bowl team. I know some of the pundits were saying that. I don't, because I think it's going to be too easy for some of these teams to replicate perhaps what Philly did and kind of take away what we're trying to do offensively. And if we can't produce, again, the magic number, guys, is 21 to 24 points. Still wouldn't have won the game tonight. But again, you're not as upset at a 27 to 24 game. You're not even as upset with a 27 to 21 game loss. You just say, all right, we got to do a couple things differently. But we cannot, again, fall back into the offense that can't put up 20 points. It's not going to happen in this time of year. Dual Threat with another donation. I appreciate the Wonder Bread. He says we have to tone down the bunch FedEx package toss. Yeah, we do. Victor says, why does it seem like the worst team in the NFL need the Steelers to get back on track? Eagles were having issues in the passing game, but here come the Steelers to help them with that. Because again, guys, and this is one of those moments. Great point by Victor here, right? I'm going to use his point to just make another point. This is one of those games where we can't say that the Steelers played down to their competition. The Eagles are a great team. Yeah, I said it. They have been a great team this season. But he's right. It seems like when teams can't do something, they are able to get their swag against us. Remember when we played the Giants? They couldn't run the football, and that kid Tracy Jr. was running it. Scored a 40-something yard touchdown against us. Remember when we played Cincinnati? Chase Brown had his longest run of the season against us. I told y'all. Common theme with this Steelers team is we give up too many explosive plays. Explosive plays are going to happen. But the theme with this defense is we give up too many explosive plays. And you can't keep doing that, especially not with good teams. It was times where dudes were butt naked open in that secondary. And it's showing you guys that we're not as good a team as some of y'all thought we were. That is the truth of it. We need our defense to get pressure, which is obvious, but we need our defense to get turnovers. And that's when they're good. Good job against Saquon, but then you let Jalen Hurts go out there and throw for 300 yards. Gavin says he thinks we can beat the Bills, though. I'm glad you do. I appreciate the confidence. I'm glad that you have that confidence, Gavin. Dubback says, not one team in the AFC has as physical as the Eagles, so we can represent the AFC in the bowl. Yes, we missing a second wide receiver, so don't know what the deal is with Mike Williams. Yeah, I think Mike Williams, man, just got to the offense late. And again, I don't think the offense is so multiple to where he's going to make an extreme difference. Again, Arthur Smith doesn't seem to like to run 11 personnel more. I'm not saying do it all the time, but you got to do it more. You got to do more things out of 11 where there's the threat to pass, then they're spread out, and we can run from that set. You running from single back anyway. So what difference does it make? At least if you do it out of 11, it's a lighter box. I got to give a round of applause to C.T. Pittman and James Webb. Appreciate the Wonder Bread. Hold on, guys. About to read it. Hold on. Hold on. I had to text my wife back really quick. And we're going to wrap up here quickly here in a moment. CT says, we got to be first in the league in giving up third and longs. I find it hard to believe that somebody else is worse. James Webb says, too many penalties, bad ones at that. Decreated turnovers that we needed. Yeah, let's read some of them penalties real quick. I'll be forgetting to read them to y'all. I don't know if I have them all, but Washington and Austin both called for a personal foul in the same play. Y'all know that one. Illegal motion by Van Jefferson late in the first quarter. Dan Moore called for holding on the very next play of that drive after the illegal formation, and Dan Moore was getting worked a little bit tonight by Sweat. Frazier called for a tripping in the fourth quarter. Personal foul on Adams to start the second half. I mean, it was just these penalties, man, that, and I will say this. I'm going to give him his name back because I don't think I saw anything that he did bad, but I'm going to give Joey Porter Jr. his name back tonight. He didn't have a penalty. I'll give him his name back temporarily. JPJ did not have a penalty, and I did see a couple times where he had some decent coverage on A.J. Brown. Here's a question I have, too, for Tomlin and Austin. Why have we stopped traveling JPJ? Is it the penalties? Because remember last year we started him doing that. I wonder why we're not doing that now, but I wonder, is it because of the penalties? Where they feel like maybe teams will try to exploit if we have him follow the number one receiver? I don't know. Just a question. I don't know if we'll ever get an answer to that. Miguel says Steelers look terrible tonight. Yeah, man, it just didn't look good. Did not look good offensively or defensively for that matter, because we still gave up a lot of points and a lot of explosive plays. So there you are, guys. But like I said, man, if you still have confidence and faith in this team, I say you still should have it. They've clinched the playoff spot. They will get into the playoffs, right? As well as they have the opportunity to win the division. So it is going to determine whether we play on the road or if we are a wild card. You can look around the AFC and decide who you think or who it looks like the Steelers are going to play, and you can start thinking to yourself, can they beat them? And that's just it. If you still have confidence in this team getting into the playoffs and winning a game, great. I think you may should still have that confidence, because we know the Steelers have been able to win some games they may not should have won, or games that you weren't sure that they could win. They've done it. But also, I will say this. You should look at this game tonight too, and it should show you the limitations that the Steelers have offensively against a good defensive team. I am not confident that the Steelers go into Baltimore and win that game. Why? Baltimore is a division rival. Steelers, a lot of times, it's very possible with both Baltimore and Cincinnati, splitting is a possibility. They've already done it with the Browns. I will always say Ravens Steelers is a toss-up. They can split. They're at home. They're fighting for something as well. I don't have the confidence today that we're going to go to Baltimore and get that win. Here's the funny thing. I actually think, I know this is going to sound crazy, I have a sneaky feeling that we will beat Kansas City on Christmas. Round of applause to David McLeod. Man, y'all have been very special tonight with the Wonder Bread. I appreciate y'all. He says, I like how we use Minka today. Yeah. And he says, and how Watt is okay. I think you're saying hope Watt is okay. And I hope Watt is okay too. I think one of you guys said they've already considered it to be a ankle sprain, and that's just not good. Joe Manick says 11-6. I can see that. That's kind of when we started this 4-game run. I kind of said I would like to at least come out of this thing 11-6. But yes, as crazy as it sounds, guys, I have a feeling that the Steelers will beat. I have a feeling that they will beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I feel like it's possible that we could keep that game close, and the Chiefs have not scared me offensively all season. What they score today? Let me see. But like Kenya said, I am looking at this thing one game at a time. I'm not getting ahead of myself. I'm looking at the 3-game stretch here, 4-game stretch. And I said to myself, I would like the Steelers to go 2-2 in that stretch. Can we go at least 1-3? And for some strange reason, guys, I feel like it's Kansas City. Look, 21-7 against Cleveland. Kansas City is not lighting it up offensively. However, will Andy Reid and company expose our defensive coverage? That's scary. But I definitely think that we can play with the Chiefs. I do. Yeah, and Mahomes didn't look the healthiest coming out of that game today. So, but anyway, guys, like Kenya said, one game at a time, man. Let's see what happens on Saturday. Don't be so down, guys. Listen, your Steelers are in the playoffs. So whether you're happy or sad, that's what it is. Whether you think they're going to win in the playoffs or not, that's what it is. And this season is about to come to a close soon. So at least we can say we know we're going to be playing in January. How far they go or can they get a win, nobody knows. But hey, we're going to keep this thing going week by week. We took an L tonight. They're 10-4. Better than most of us probably expected, not knowing the quarterback situation. We've overachieved again, as Y. Dickey said earlier. And we shall see. But other than that, guys, I will chop it up with you guys on Tuesday for Terrible Towel Tuesday, where hopefully you guys will be able to call in. You know, Blog Talk has been acting crazy since they're going out of business in January anyway. And we'll see. But outside of that, man, I hope you guys take care of this right here. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And turn on your notifications so you know when videos are streaming. Outside of that, man, y'all know the routine. I'm always going to tell you good, lovely people to make sure you stay safe out there. Stay healthy. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank you all for tuning in. And I shall catch you in the next one. And since I don't have my closing screen and all of that set up, y'all are just going to see me go peace. And I'm going to hit the stop button. All right, y'all.